ఎలా వెళ్ళా ఉంటున్నా. హలో
Ma'am is on mute.
హలో మ్యామ్. హలో హలో మ్యామ్, am I audible మ్యామ్? హలో
Hello, doctor. Hello, everyone.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Where is the presenter?
Yes, yeah, ma'am.
Dr. Anma Suryan. Unmute yourself, ma. Dr. Anma Suryan. Who is audible other than presenter?
Ma'am, Anma is here.
Yeah. Where is the presenter, ma?
He's
He's
not.
online, ma'am.
Oh, he is offline now, ma'am. I think he might have network problems.
Let's wait for joining.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
certain person.
He'll join soon, ma'am.
Okay, wait.
Hello.
Almost Suryan, continue, ma. What happened?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
What happened, ma?
Data சரியா வரல. Data வரல. இது
Okay,
network
okay,
problem.
okay. Okay, proceed, doctor. Head to foot examination you finished, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Go to systemic examination.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Vitals, temperature was 8 April, pulse 74 beats per minute, which was regular in rhythm, a normal character and volume, BP 100 bar 64 mm mercury, respiratory rate 17 breaths per minute, JVP not elevated now.
Okay. Proceed.
Shall I proceed now?
Proceed, doctor. Proceed.
Abdomen examination. Yes, ma'am. Abdomen
Yeah.
examination, inspection, abdomen uniformly distended and flanks are full, umbilicus everted and pushed down, all quadrants move equally with respiration, skin is stretched and shiny with no striae or scratches on supine position, ma'am. No divertification of recti noted, no dilated veins, no visible pulsations, no scars or sinuses, and aerial orifices are free, ma'am.
Okay.
Palpation on superficial palpation, abdomen was not warm or tender. On deep palpation, liver is not palpable. Spleen lower border palpated at 5 centimeters from left costal margin. Notch felt medially and moves with respiration, ma'am. Palpation measurements, ma'am. Abdomen girth at level of umbilicus 104 centimeter. Distance between zygosternum and umbilicus 20 centimeter, ma'am. Distance between umbilicus and pubic symphysis is 18 centimeter, ma'am. Percussion, liver upper border dullness percussed at right fifth intercostal space along mid clavicular line, and lower border isn't palpable. Spleen dullness observed in ninth intercostal space of anterior axillary line. Trough space is dull to percussion. Shifting dullness was present, ma'am. Auscultation, bowel sounds present, no venous arm, brute, and friction rub. Shall I proceed, ma'am?
Auscultation, what findings there?
Bowel sounds was present, ma'am. Normal.
Okay, okay. Finished,
No
no?
venous arm, brute, and friction. Ma'am?
Okay, doctor. What preliminary preparations you should follow for palpation examination of the abdomen?
Abdomen. The
Preliminary
patient is asked to lie in supine position with
preparation.
knees flexed. With knees flexed, ma'am. And for spleen palpation, we should be
So
palpating
many
with
preparations are
palmar
there.
aspect. Yes, ma'am.
Dr.
Next,
Anma Suryan, you
yes,
told
ma'am.
only one thing. What are the preliminary preparations you should follow while palpation of the abdomen? So always examiner should stand always right side of the patient. Why? Why we are standing right side of the
Okay.
patient? Because most of them having right-handed person. Okay, so that's why they're standing right side of the patient. Next thing, patient should lie flat comfortably on his back on a firm mattress with
Okay, ma'am.
head rest in the pillow to relax the abdomen. Okay. Then ask the patient to flex the
Okay.
thigh and knee. To what? We are doing flex the thigh and knee to relax the abdominal musculature.
To
Okay.
relax rectus abdomen.
Yeah, to relax the abdominal musculature. Then ask the patient to turn left side of the patient. Why? So that patient cannot breathe on examiner's face. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then ask the patient to breathe deeply with wide open mouth. Why we are giving this instruction to the patient?
Okay.
Why we are giving? Take
So
deep breath with
liver
wide
may
open
be
your mouth.
Right.
What?
liver may be more palpable, more deep inspiration and expiration.
Deeply.
Because liver, spleen, all moves
Move
with
with
respiration. What are other structures moves with respiration apart from liver and spleen?
gallbladder.
Yeah, good. Gallbladder and kidney also moves with respiration. Okay. So that's why ask the patient to breathe deeply with wide open mouth. After that, hands of the patient will lie side by his trunk. Hands of the patient will lie side by his trunk. Then you start
Okay.
palpation from the right iliac fossa. So, Mr. Can you repeat what preliminary instructions you should give?
Yeah, ma'am.
Mm.
Yeah, ma'am. The patient is asked to lie in second position.
Okay,
Last to second position. You want to stand in on on the right side of the patient,
good.
and
Second step,
you want to ask the patient to turn his head
flex
towards
the thigh and the knee.
left side.
No, ask the
Yes,
patient to flex the thigh and the
knee.
knee. Mm. Then
Yes, ma'am.
turn the
Thigh and
patient's
knees are
face.
flexed
Mm.
and face towards left.
Yeah,
Ask to breathe through mouth, ma'am. Deep
okay,
inspiration
okay. So, this is the preliminary
and
preparations
palpation.
while doing palpation of the abdomen.
Okay.
Okay, only one question. How you examine spleen by palpatory method?
Palpation. Ma'am, during expiration, palmar aspect of and palmar aspect and is placed over the umbilicus, ma'am, and check for any impurity of spleen palpated when the patient takes breath inspiration. And you want to move 1 centimeter diagonally to the left hypochondry portion for every expiration.
Anyone can tell ma? Palpation of the spleen clearly. Other than presenter, anyone can try how to palpate the spleen.
Ma'am, we should be starting from the right iliac fossa and then moving diagonally towards left hypochondrium.
First
Palpation.
towards the left hypochondrium. Correct. Mm.
And we should be pressing our right hand deeply, ma'am.
Okay.
Then maybe with the left hand, just press uh, on the lower ribs on the side to restrict expansion.
Okay. Then, so starting from the right iliac fossa, move upwards towards the left hypochondrium. If spleen is not palpable, what will you do next palpation? First, you reaches the left hypochondrium from the right iliac fossa. If the spleen is not palpable, move the right hand more upwards under the left till under the left costal margin. Okay. If still not spleen palpable, go to the horizontal direction. Start well out to the left costal margin and again gradually move more medially. So start from the right iliac fossa to the left hypochondrium. If spleen not palpable, go to the more upwards to the left costal margin. If still not palpable, go to the horizontal towards the anterior axillary line. No, so go to the horizontal. If still not palpable, what will you do? Then only ask the patient to turn light lateral decubitus position.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Right
uh,
lateral.
Yeah, after that only. So first in supine position, we start palpation. If spleen not palpable, ask the patient to turn right lateral decubitus position, then start again palpation. Okay, either flat hand. If not palpable by using a flat hand, what will you do? Hooked method. What is hooking method?
One hand above the palpating, the other hand above the palpating and pressing
Yeah,
on.
one hand is by hooked, other hand is placed over the posterolateral. Okay, under the left costal region. Then, so any other hooking method, specific method, hooking method. This is palpation method. If not spleen palpable in supine position, we are turning the patient into right lateral position. In supine position also we can do hooking. Can we do? What is Middleton maneuver? All of you go to the YouTube and put spleen palpation and listen. Okay, how they are doing. What is Middleton maneuver? Middleton maneuver. Anyone can explain? The simple one. Anma Suryan, you know? Did you know, ma?
Ma'am,
Middleton
இல்ல மேம்
maneuver, you
தெரியாது.
know? தெரியாதா? Anyone?
இல்ல மேம்.
Anyone, ma? Anushram?
Is it that method where left hand presses on the left lower ribs? Where,
Middleton maneuver.
I
Just
don't know.
it is a more important examination, ma. It's very simple only. So usually we are standing right side of the patient, but we are doing the Middleton maneuver. We should go and stand the left side of the patient. Patient should lie in the supine position only. Don't flex and tie and leg. Just patient keep in supine position. Examiner should go to the left side of the patient and facing the foot end of the bed. First, the examiner should stand left side of the patient and examiner should face the foot end of the bed, patient's bed. Then start palpation of the spleen by hooked fingers of the left hand below the left costal margin. While the patient breathes in and out deeply, we can able to palpate the spleen. So remember, all things are left. The examiner should stand left side of the patient and used for hooking, use your left hand. Okay, keep under the left costal margin and ask the patient to breathe in and out deeply. We can able to palpate the spleen. In case this is very useful in very mild splenomegaly, just palpable spleen, we can do Middleton maneuver. Okay, everyone on the YouTube videos and see how they are doing Middleton maneuver. Okay, so what is the name of the percussion of the spleen? Anma Suryan,
Ma'am,
percussion of spleen. You know how to percuss the spleen?
ma'am, at 9th, 10th, and 11th intercostal space.
Hmm.
Dull note is noted.
What is Castell method? What is Nixon's method? You know?
Castle Nixon.
What is Castell's point? Tell me Castell point first.
I don't know. Ma'am.
So where will you examine Castell method? Castell method we are examining 8th or 9th intercostal space, no?
Okay.
So I think nobody read in palpation and percussion. First read yourself, palpation and percussion. And only you can understand. So Castell point is nothing but it is the most inferior interface on the left anterior axillary line at the 8th or 9th. Okay. So identify 8th or 9th intercostal space in the anterior axillary line, that is Castell's point. So this Nixon's Castell's both are palpation method or percussion method?
Percussion method.
Percussion method.
How will you do? Castle is simple. Compare the Nixon. How will you do?
Percuss along the anterior axillary line.
The lower
Yes, percuss
8th
along
and
the
9th
anterior axillary line.
axillary line, the 8th and 9th intercostal space.
Percuss, either you start from the axilla towards the downwards up to the 8th or 9th intercostal space, or directly you can start 8th or 9th intercostal space at the anterior axillary line. Okay, look at whether resonant sign or dull note. If it is resonant, what it indicates? If the spleen is normal, it is resonant. No. The castle is very, very important. You know
Resonant.
the castle response. Identify the 8th or 9th intercostal space and the anterior axillary line. Start percussion. If it is a resonant, that is normal. If it is dull note,
Normal
that
sound.
indicates if
The
dull note,
sphenomegaly.
it's important.
Sphenomegaly.
Important thing is dull note on inspiration. Okay, that indicates splenomegaly.
Okay.
So what's your diagnosis? Read yourself. What is the Nixon's method? What is Lucian method? Read yourself and tell in the next class. So
Okay.
what's your diagnosis on the Syrian?
Yes, no.
What's your diagnosis?
A provisional diagnosis. A case of DCLT, a case of decompensated liver disease with features of portal hypertension due to chronic alcoholism etiology with a complication of hepatic encephalopathy grade 3.
Why you tell it's a decompensated?
Ma'am,
What
ascites
is
was present.
compensated? What is decompensated?
Presence of complications.
What complications?
Portal hypertension.
Ascites and varices.
Okay.
Hepatic encephalopathy also.
When will you tell this is decompensated? Based on what features?
Features of portal hypertension like hematemesis and
Hematemesis correct. GA bleeding. Presence of GA bleeding and presence of ascites.
the
Patient
enlarged veins.
Ascites.
No, if you are telling decompensated, presence of one or more features of presence of ascites, presence of jaundice, and patient should in encephalopathy, and patient will have GA bleeding. So these 4 presentations will tell in patient decompensated. So what are the features you should tell for decompensated? So examiner asks why this is decompensated means this patient will have ascites, this patient have jaundice, and this patient also in HE, hepatic encephalopathy. Only thing there is no bleeding manifestation. Yeah. So we need one or more features. So what is compensated?
Deranged liver function tests, ma'am, but clinically there is no complication, no
Yeah, patient will have only non-specific symptoms like fatigability, loss of appetite, and dyspepsia and the flatulence. So non-specific symptoms only patient having. So whereas decompensated, there are the many features will have. So these patients have all the features. So this patient have decompensated chronic liver disease. Complete the diagnosis on Masurian. Repeat the diagnosis again.
Yes, ma'am. A case of decompensated liver disease with features of portal hypertension due to
Why you
chronic
are telling
alcoholism etiology.
hypertension? So decompensated, we have
Ascites was
diabetes.
present.
Ascites present.
Ma'am,
Ascites
ascites
present.
present.
Good. What's the triad of portal hypertension? When you tell this patient will have portal hypertension.
Varices,
Very good.
ascites,
Ascites,
ascites and
splenomegaly.
splenomegaly.
Okay, so
Congested.
these 3 things are triad. This is a triad for portal hypertension. Then, okay. case of DCOM is a chronic liver disease with features of portal hypertension due to chronic alcoholism.
Alcoholism with a complication of hepatic encephalopathy, grade 3.
What is hepatic encephalopathy? Can you define? Anyone? Can you define hepatic encephalopathy? Can you
It's a
try?
complication of decompensated liver disease.
Yeah, it is a complex decompensated liver disease. It is a complex
It's
neuropsychotic
a
syndrome. Okay.
neuropsychotic syndrome.
It is a
Sorry.
complex neuropsychotic syndrome characterized by disturbances in conscious level and behavior changes,
Yes,
personality changes,
yes.
and fluctuation of neurological signs. And patient will have
Altered sleep
hysteresis
blood
and electroencephalographic changes.
changes. Yes.
These are the hepatic encephalopathy. So we know what is hepatic encephalopathy. How? What are the stages of hepatic encephalopathy? You know, only
Uh,
2 stages.
okay.
What stages? Stage 1, stage 2.
No, 4.
Stage 1, yeah, Stage 1 is pre-coma. Stage 2 is coma.
Oh,
Coma.
How will you
Okay.
tell clinically? Clinically, this patient have pre-coma or coma. Your patient. How will you tell? Clinical. That means based on
It's
symptoms and signs. Based on symptoms and signs, we can tell this patient have hepatic pre-coma or a hepatic coma.
coma.
What are the clinical features we should tell for pre-coma?
Uh, irritability.
Very good.
Sluggish,
Irritability.
sluggish
Sluggish
speech,
speech. Good.
incoherent
Correct.
speech,
Ah, correct.
incoherent
Speech
speech, and
disturbance.
flapping tremor.
Tell me the symptoms.
Patient was awake.
Hmm. Patient is
Symptoms.
awake.
Altered sleep
Impairment of
pattern.
altered sleep pattern. What is altered sleep pattern? What is inversion of sleep rhythm? What is inversion of sleep rhythm? It means daytime sleep, arousal at night
As
with
on the patient's anticipating sleepiness, decreased
arousal
night
at
sleep.
night with hypersomnia. Okay, that
Okay.
is inversion of sleep rhythm. So remember, in stage of pre-coma, patient will have restless and violent activity. Okay, and if patient have
Okay.
memory disturbance, impairment of memory and intellectual deterioration. Okay,
Cognitive.
and patient will not able to concentrate. Patient will not able to concentrate, and he is hepatic, and he will have slowness of activity. And you told disturbed consciousness level and inversion of sleep rhythm, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and also patient will have slurring of speech disturbance to indicate
Yes, ma'am. Incoherent
patient
speech.
will have
Same.
pre-coma. So what are the signs?
Yes, ma'am.
Same thing. What are the signs for pre-coma? You should look. So first thing,
hysteresis.
Flapping tremor.
hysteresis. Before hysteresis, we should examine higher motor function first.
Yes, ma'am.
If the patient in deep coma, that is hepatic coma, stage 2. If patient awake but disorientation in time phase person, that means patient in stage 1, pre-coma stage. So first examine higher motor functions. Then hysteresis, correct. Hysteresis present in pre-coma. If hysteresis not,
Yes, ma'am.
no, patient in hepatic coma, go into stage 2. Your patient having hysteresis, no?
Okay. Yes,
Your
ma'am.
patient having
Come on.
hysteresis, yeah, yeah. Next, one more important is bedside test. Already simple in a hepatic coma.
Uh, trial
That
line. Trial line.
what trial line? How you?
The patient is given with a sheet of 25 dotted lines with
Oh,
numerics.
okay. What is this name?
So,
It's a number connection test or simple drawing test
huh?
to rule out constructional
Yes,
apraxia.
ma'am.
No, and
Yes,
look at the patient's handwriting. If it is micrographia,
yes,
that
ma'am.
is patient in stage 1, pre-coma stage. Okay. The hepatic coma, we know already patient in deep coma not able to write. But clinical features is new. Patient will have micrographia in pre-coma stage. Then patient will have rigidity.
Yes, ma'am.
Then how will be the plantar in hepatic coma and pre-coma? Any difference? Plantar
Increased,
response.
increased reflexes.
Usually in hepatic encephalopathy D coma, patient will have extensor. Okay, if patient's plantar response is flexor, it indicates patient in first stage, pre-coma. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then how will be the power and tone? So tone, jerks, and deep reflexes all are tone is flaccid tone in hepatic coma, whereas rigid tone in pre-coma. Same thing, jerks and deep reflexes are all are absent in hepatic coma and may be present in pre-coma. So clinically, you can tell, okay, whether patient in stage 1 hepatic pre-coma or stage 2
Stage 1
hepatic
hepatic
coma.
encephalopathy.
So our patient, what stage?
Stage 1, ma'am. He was awake and
Okay.
Asterix is present.
Yeah, very good, sir. Pre-coma. Okay, what is minimal HE? You know minimal hepatic encephalopathy?
Ma'am?
Minimal. What is minimal
Ma'am.
hepatic encephalopathy? Anyone other than presenter? Minimal hepatic encephalopathy? What EEG changes will have these patients hepatic encephalopathy?
And
So presence of
increased
uh,
delta wave activity
the delta wave
and decreased
activity, okay?
alpha.
Alpha activity and presence of high
Decreased pulse.
voltage and triphasic waves, okay? So can you tell based on this what is minimal HE? Other than presenter also can try. So minimal HE, minimal hepatic encephalopathy, these patients are clinically normal, but so significant impairment in the psychometric performance. Okay, and also this patient will have EEG changes, but clinically normal. So we can identify examination, psychomotor performance, and in electrophysiological study. But patients clinically will be normal. That is minimal hepatic encephalopathy. Okay. Okay. Onwards again, how will you manage this patient?
Huh?
How will you manage this patient?
Hello.
Hello. How
Yes,
will you
ma'am.
manage now?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Audible, doctor.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Audible.
ma'am.
How will you
As
manage?
a should be protected. Always be protected. And if any GA bleed present and lactose was
Okay.
given, lactose
Management.
administrated to decrease the ammonia load.
Okay.
And a, a bowel sterilization may be done with a neomycin
Okay.
to decrease the colon or the
Okay.
bacterial concentration.
Mm.
Protein restricted diet.
Protein restricted. What protein you will advise? Especially vegetable protein you should advise. Why? Why vegetable protein? Because it's less ammonogenic, better tolerated, and also more laxative. Okay.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. What's the
And
complication? Tell me some complication of cirrhosis,
complication.
doctor.
Coma decision.
What?
Cirrhosis, hepatic encephalopathy. Ma'am,
Very
hepatic
good.
encephalopathy
Hepatic encephalopathy.
and hepatopulmonary syndrome, hepatorenal syndrome,
Hmm. Always tell
and
common things first.
hepatocellular carcinoma in long term. Yes, ma'am.
So what are the most common expecting complications we are seeing regularly? So one is portal hypertension. No.
Portal hypertension.
Second one is, this patient have fever or abdomen pain. What do you think?
Fever, malaria, spontaneous bacterial infection.
Yeah, that is spontaneous bacterial peritonitis.
Back.
Next one is hepatic encephalopathy, then hepatorenal, hepatopulmonary. Finally, you should tell hepatocellular carcinoma. It is a late complication, hepatocellular carcinoma.
Hepatocellular carcinoma.
It's a late complication, okay? Before that, patient will have hematological complication. What are the hematological complication will come in cirrhosis?
This coagulopathy due to decreased
Coagulopathy, and patient will have anemia, hemolysis, neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, all we have. Any other complication,
Okay.
portal vein thrombosis also will come. And this patient will have bone disorder, osteomalacia, osteoporosis, like osteopenia.
Vitamin D.
Okay. What is ABP? SBP, no, you know. What is SBP? SBP, spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. How do you suspect SBP? This patient has developed. How do you suspect?
Ma'am, abdominal distension will be warm and tender. The patient will not allow to palpate.
And that indicates abdomen pain and tenderness. So presence of abdomen pain and tenderness, and presence of fever. And the increasing ascites. Okay. So ascites is sudden increasing ascites and not respond. One other thing is important, not response to diuretics also. Then you think of SBP. Most of the patients will improve by giving diuretics. If not response to giving diuretics, now think of SBP. And one more important bedside test is auscultate the bowel sounds. Okay. In SBP, bowel sounds will be diminished. Bowel sounds will be diminished. Your patient having normal bowel sounds, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the presence of diminished bowel sounds. And one more thing, when you suspect SBP, one more thing, whether appearance of hepatic encephalopathy or worsening of hepatic encephalopathy. So these are all the features it gives to suspect spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. Anushram, can you repeat again?
Ma'am,
Or anyone? Repeat.
This sudden increase in ascites which may not even be.
Yeah, tell me. Correct only. Sudden increase
In
of
ascites which is not responding to diuretics.
very good.
Then tense abdomen.
Yeah.
And fever may be present. Tender abdomen. Bowel sounds would be decreased.
Yeah, diminished bowel sounds. And hepatic encephalopathy worsening or appearance and presence of fever is all the suspect to SBP. How will you treat Anushram? SBP, how will you treat?
We'd give lactulose washes and along with neomycin.
Lactulose was neomycin. These are all for hepatic encephalopathy.
Oh yes, ma'am.
How will you treat SBP?
Broad spectrum antibiotics, IV.
What antibiotic you will choose? Anna Suryan, how will you treat SBP?
Ma'am?
How will you treat SBP?
Ma'am, ceftriaxone.
Cefatoxime, use cefatoxime. If it is contaminated or the patient have allergy to cefatoxime, go to ceftriaxone. Okay. So it's the most common drug is to treat SBP, injection cefatoxime. What's the dose of cefatoxime?
Yes, ma'am.
How much you will
1
give?
gram IV.
1 gram IV.
1 gram IV TDS.
BD or OD or TDS? TDS. For how long?
TDS, ma'am. TDS. For
5 to 7 days you should give. Okay. So suppose patient allergic to cephalosporin, what will you choose? Next drug. So give amoxicillin clavulanic acid combination. Co-amoxiclav IV. Augmentin. Okay, good. So what prophylaxis you will give to prevent SBP? This treatment. What is the prophylaxis? Prophylactic treatment.
Prophylaxis given ciprofloxacin.
Yeah, ciprofloxacin. Norfloxacin we are giving commonly. So dose is 400 milligram DD for 7 days. Okay, what is ABP?
Okay.
What is ABP? This is SBP. What is ABP?
Acute bacterial peritonitis.
Very good. Acute bacterial peritonitis. You know the stage of ABP? What is primary? What is secondary? What is tertiary ABP?
No, ma'am.
No. Can you go and refer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. This cirrhosis patient this cirrhosis patient will have late complication. HCC may be turned into hepatocellular carcinoma also. No. How will you identify this patient will have carcinoma? Success to one important DD to cirrhosis, carcinoma of liver. What clinical features we should think patient will have carcinoma?
Loss of weight, loss
Gynecomastia, ma'am.
First, think loss of weight, doctor. Loss of weight, loss of
Loss of
appetite,
appetite.
and
of sudden
very
enlargement of
good.
liver.
Yeah, very good. Sudden enlargement of the liver. You finish it, liver features. No, if you are telling liver, no. So sudden enlargement of liver with a tender liver, nodular liver, and hot liver. And we can hear also hepatic bruit and hepatic rub. These are all gives clue to the carcinoma of the liver.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, if the patient have one more important features to rule out carcinoma and cirrhosis, what important finding? Cirrhosis patient will have, whereas carcinoma patient will not have. One important features. Anyone?
Cirrhosis would be shrunken liver and
Okay, shrunken. Other than liver, shrunken liver, liver is finished. What about splenomegaly? In carcinoma will have or not?
absent.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so in patient will have absent splenomegaly. Remember, in cirrhosis patient will have splenomegaly, whereas in carcinoma, if you are able to feel large liver, tender liver, nodular liver, then with the bruit or rub. But patients should have splenomegaly in cirrhosis. Whereas in carcinoma, there's an important differentiating feature is absence of splenomegaly. And also patient will have intermittent jaundice. Carcinoma, no. The cirrhosis patient will have chronic jaundice. Here is intermittent jaundice. So
Ma'am,
any
but
other features?
how can splenomegaly be absent, ma'am, if carcinoma in case develops after cirrhosis?
It's single. That if it is like that, that's not a typical carcinoma. That is the complication of cirrhosis develop into HCC will have splenomegaly. But in primary carcinoma of liver will not have.
And primary carcinoma of liver won't also have other signs of portal hypertension, ma'am.
Only GA bleeding maybe have complication, but splenomegaly is not there in primary carcinoma of liver. Okay, your doubt is excellent, doctors. Very good doubt. Okay, so if patient already have cirrhosis, then develops carcinoma, will have splenomegaly. But in carcinoma of liver, there is the absence of splenomegaly. Remember. Okay. Any
Okay.
other features? We should examine the neck glands in case of carcinoma. Any other differentiating features? So what about your portosystemic collaterals? Is it present or not in carcinoma? So portosystemic portovenous collaterals present in cirrhosis, but usually there is no portosystemic venous collaterals in carcinoma. Okay. So it is the carcinoma, one of the close differential diagnosis to this condition, cirrhosis of liver. Presenta,
Yes, ma'am.
you finished now?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the batch rep, ma?
Hello.
Who is
Hello, yes, ma'am. I finished.
the batch
Akash
rep?
K.
Yes, ma'am.
Akasha.
Akash
Yes,
K.
ma'am. I am the
And
rep.
it's not attendance, no?
Yes, ma'am. I took the attendance, ma'am.
Okay. Total, how much students? 60.
No, ma'am. Total 63 students.
63. 9 students absent. Only 56 are present. 7
Ma'am,
students
no,
absent.
ma'am. No, ma'am. Some students have been coming and going because of
Where are they?
the network issues, ma'am. They'll be alternately joining and not joining. It's a connection problem, ma'am.
Oh, because of connection problem, they are absent.
Not absent, ma'am. They are all present, ma'am. So, but a few seconds
Not
back they
able to
went out.
join because of connection problem.
Ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, doctor. Okay, we'll wind the class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
எவ்வளோ எக்ஸிட் கொடுக்கறது